afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Edinburgh International Book Festival and to Story Shop in the Spiegel tent. My name is Eleanor and I work for the City of Literature Trust. Edinburgh was designated a City of Literature by UNESCO in 2004, and as part of this great honour that they've bestowed upon our literary city, we are a development agency that takes great pride in encouraging and discovering and cultivating new and emerging talents. It's a big leap to go from an aspiring writer to a published writer, and that's the gap that we aim to fill and to enable. There have been so many different authors who have gone through the Story Shop programme, and we are very, very proud of it. So today I have the great honour to introduce the next writer. Her name is Sarah Broadley. Sarah mainly writes for younger children, but she dips her toes in many other genres as well. She's a member of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and she coordinates the middle grade and picture book critique book groups in South East Scotland. So today, Sarah Broadley would like to read her story for you, Blood on My Apollos.
Edinburgh, 1983. My big sister's roller skates weren't proper skates. They hadn't come in a fancy box with wow and awesome on the side. They'd been bound together with an elastic band. Worn away heel to weathered toe, deep scuffs and scrapes confirmed their long life. Battle scars that went from the back wheels all the way to the rubber stopper that jutted out from beneath the faded leather that had once been bright red. If I held them up to the big light in the front room, the faint initials of my cousin could be seen on the inside of the heel. Ownership declared in a faint black scribble the initials O and K. I saw these letters as a rite of passage, a sign that I wouldn't get into trouble if I used the skates. Besides, what could possibly go wrong? O and K. Everything would be okay. Each skate had two leather sections that had seen better days. One part tied at the front over excited toes that wriggled around in flimsy school plimsolls. The wearer would attempt to tie the greying frayed laces in as tight a knot as childlike fingers could manage. It was just as well the soft material stretched to accommodate the smallest to the largest foot, because in our street we shared everything. A thin leather strap weaved its way through two metal slits at the heel. Once the buckle was in place, thin ankles were held tight against the steel frame. Every part of the preparation was usually done with a tongue sticking out the side of jam-covered lips and one eye closed to help with concentration, obviously. Desperation oozed from every pore because tying them quickly meant more time to play before the bath was run. It also meant more time with me before they were handed over to the next in line. It was widely agreed that these were the most cumbersome skates in the world, but they were all we had. When allowed a shot, it was easy to get carried away with the excitement of it all. I would always end up going too fast, my toes slipping out of the weathered foot strap. My journey of great speed would come to a very abrupt halt, and I would end up frantically hopping on one foot and skating with the other until I managed to slow myself down or catch up with the remaining skate, whichever happened first. Even worse though, the freedom-seeking skate would burrow round and bang against my opposite ankle, leaving deep, painful welts in my skin. Rendering me speechless for a few moments as I tried my best not to cry, I would check for any obvious damage, and as all stubborn kids do, I would start the process all over again. Bruised and sore from my adventures on the steel contraptions, I would head in for a soothing soak and on to bed, where I would dream of having my own skates. Not cousin hand-me-downs or big sister leftovers, brand new, just for me. For months I had been looking at the same item in the Freeman's catalogue. I had already memorised the number and section. Page 246, girls' toys. But it didn't stop me flicking through all the glossy pages, wishing I could buy everything. I would heave the paper monstrosity onto my lap and lick the tip of my index finger to gently urge the incredibly thin pages over without them ripping. That was essential, they couldn't rip. Gently leafing though, I would ignore the fact the circulation in my legs had gone and just continue on with my unobtainable shopping list, my idea of heaven. I knew the order number off by heart too. FM 54563, FM 54563. I would say it over and over in my head and recite the product summary off as if it were a nightly prayer. Whenever the advert for my skates came on the telly, I imagined that the excited, booming voice spilling out into the living room was my own. Double waist, strong white leather, comfortable soles, durable stoppers that complement a solid titanium rim. It was enough to make me spill my strawberry cream foam. Fizzy, carbonated globules that popped and banged in the glass were my second favourite thing in the wide world. My first being Apollo 13 Ridgeback Gold Class Specials, obviously. They were what I wanted more than anything else. More than getting my own room, and definitely more than kissing John McKinstry at the P7 Weaver stands. Who needs boys when you can glide along the road with the wind in your hair and not a care in the world? Not me. On the morning of my 12th birthday, the present that sat on the dining table between the cereal and the burnt toast was huge. The shiny paper gleamed. The pattern of red stripes with green bows was a bit garish for such an early start, but it made me grin as I noticed the edges had torn. It would appear the corners had proven a bit tricky for my dad to get right. I smiled up at him. He grinned back at me and nodded. Go ahead and open it, his floppy black hair said as it bounced up and down. The jaggy rips had been smoothed down, confirmed that he had given up trying to make a perfect box shape, as well as the long strips of tape that had curled at the ends, indicating he still couldn't master sellotape either. I always just used my teeth. I knew a lot of effort had gone into the wrapping, and I wiped away a grateful tear. Mum would have done it better, he said, as he shuffled around the kitchen, drying his already clean hands on a tea towel. You've done a great job, Dad, thanks, I managed to squeak. My heart was beating so fast, I couldn't quite get the words out. I looked over at the chair Mum used to sit in. The empty seat stared back. Her death, 1 year, 2 months and 14 days ago, was a shock to us all. A brain something or other, they had said. They had said it had been quick. Quick for him. I quietly removed the paper, not daring myself to believe that my wish might actually come true. The same wish I had made every night, ever since that Ruth Donnelly got her new skates last year. She had pranced up and down the street showing off her pale blue all-stars. Apparently, her uncle in America had bought them for her, but I knew for a fact you could get them in wheelies down the Kirkgate for £50. You could see the big W sticker on the soles. She can keep her all-stars though. The stoppers don't last very long, really. Will you just open it, Dad said, as he ruffled my hair on his way back to the kitchen. More toast was burning under the grill. The smell made my stomach curl. I was starving, but I can never eat on the morning of my birthday. Presents first, food later. I waited for him to return before I gave up being neat and tore the paper off, squealing with delight. I couldn't believe it. There, staring back at me, were the unmistakable images of skates, wheels, laces, but they weren't just any skate parts. They were an all-singing, all-dancing pair of Apollo 13 Ridgeback Gold Class Special in silver. Breathe. Just breathe. A little while later, my dad opened the door to find me covered in blood. My hand cupped to my chin as a river of red ran between my fingers and down my arm, collecting in a pool in my elbow joint. A rush of tears had made my face wet, and blotchy patches appeared like a rash on my cheeks. My nose was running like a tap, which just added that little bit of extra fluid to an already wet situation. My brand new silver skates had splashes of "told you so" splattered all over me. My face burned not just with embarrassment, but also with a little bit of pride. I smiled and wailed at the same time. My first battle scar.
Thank you very much, Sarah. There was a bit in the middle where I was like, don't really hope she gets the scales. I really hope it's not something else. Anyway, we are here every day throughout the book festival. It's a brilliant partnership. We have the Edinburgh International Book Festival, and it's something that has enabled this project to go on for as long as it has. And this year we are particularly pleased and proud to celebrate 10 years of Story Shop. It started in 2007. So please, yes, join us again tomorrow, where you can hear a lovely story from Janet Nixon. And we'll be here again at 3 o'clock in the Spiegel Tent. We'll see you then.